Okay, my husband and I are in the process of designing another house. Now, I don't know if you've seen my other craft room that I designed about 5 years ago. I will link that down below for you. But this newer house, the room is about the same size, but the configurations are a little bit different. The doorways are different. I have actually a closet in this room, which I'm really excited about, this closet right here. And because this might be a guest room for someone at a future date, we learned from experience that it's hard to sell a house if the big rooms don't have bathrooms. So we're adding a bathroom here. And then as you can see right here, we're having an elevator. I'm 69 years old right now. My husband's 75. We can definitely use steps, but we might not be able to in the future. So I want to make sure I'm able to get to my craft room. We've also made sure that all the doors are handicap accessible, 3.0 doors, and then we have some storage. But I want to show you that the windows here, those are not exactly the way it's going to be. There's not going to be these little blocks. This is going to be a solid wall of windows. And there's 1, 2, 3 door openings in this particular room, where my other house had 1 door, which was into the room, and then these windows were centered. So the space was a little bit different. So I want to pause this right now. We're going to come back in just a second. I'm going to kind of show you what I have in my craft room currently. I'm in a temporary room, and I want to show you that you don't have to design a craft room from scratch. You could take a current bedroom, gather what you have, and make your craft room. But because I have a craft room now, I want to kind of zoom in and show you what I have, so that I'm taking all things into consideration. And the beauty about doing things multiple times is that I can know what I like, what worked, and what did not work. And let me kind of show you all of that. This is my rental house, and this is a bedroom that I turned into my craft room. And I brought my shelves that I had from my other craft room and from my garage and things like that, so I knew what to do with my stuff. Now, these paper holders are from Stamp and Storage. I painted them myself, but Stamp and Storage now has an option to paint them, and I absolutely adore these holders. But I think I'm going to do my paper a little bit differently this time, because they do take up a lot of space, and I have a lot more paper that I'd like to put on display, and I don't really know if I have the space for these big, huge units. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these magazine holders from Container Store. Let me zoom out. Turn them on their sides, put my paper in job ticket holders, and I can get 8 to 10 papers in one. So I'll show you that later on, but that's what I think I'm going to do with my paper. And you can see I have down below, sorry, my finger's in the way. I have the same thing with my felt. I had these wonderful clear plastic containers that I got from Container Store. These clear shoe boxes, they're sweater boxes. I get them from this Container Store, and I absolutely adore them. And then all my finished cards are in there. Everything has labels on it. All my mailing. And so I've made a list, you'll see in just a second, of where everything's going to go. Is it going to go in the room? Is it going to go in the closet? Is it going to go somewhere else? These IKEA units, I put the legs on them, and I had the cabinet people make a top for them. And then I had Brett over at Stamp and Storage custom make this holder for me, so the papers to fit on this space. I have 4 Razcogs. There's 2 here, and there's some more in the closet. I have these wire shelves from the Container Store, which I love. They've been traveling with me from house to house. And what I'll do is I'll mount the TV above those. Now, these stamps and dies in my other craft room, I had them in pull-out drawers that I had the cabinet people make for me. And I'm not sure I'm going to do that this time, only because there's specific widths of these, and when you put them in the drawer, it's hard to get them to fit exactly, and there's just a lot of wasted space in the back. So I think what I'm going to do is put them in the closet on shelves like this, so that I can actually see them and get what I need. But again, the jury's out. This is just my preliminary on what I'm going to do. Typically there's a label here, but for the rental I made labels for the drawers, so that I can remember what I have and everything. And then over here, I have my stamp holders from Stamp and Storage. And I love, these are really narrow, as you can see. And in my other house, in my other craft room, I had them in a 24-inch deep cabinet. So they were pulled forward, but that means that 20 inches behind was being wasted. So I think what I want to do is, and I'll show you in a second in the next section of this video, is I'm going to have a counter with my Alex units on it, kind of like this table. And then I'm going to put these behind. There'll be a window right above it, just to bring in some light. And that way I can still have a counter to work on. I still work, still have things, but my inks are stored out of the way. A couple of companies just came out with a bunch of new inks, and I do want to get more inks. I have, I guess you'd call it full set syndrome, where I feel like I need to have a full set, which is not really true, but I do. And then these are the newest things that I have that I need to work on, that I haven't had a chance to work on yet. I mean, we got some stuff that are amazing that I just absolutely love, that I can't wait to get working on, but we've been busy moving and setting up camp and all of that. So let me show you how I begin to lay out my craft room next. But I just have a folding table here. I have these drawer units from the office supply store. Again, craft rooms do not need to be fancy and expensive. Just get yourself some inexpensive things. Utilize what you already have. Find some shelves from the garage, whatever you need to do to make your craft room work for you. The reason I have 4 Razcogs is this is a felt project I work on. This is my paper crafting. Over here, I have an embroidery Razcog. So depending on what I'm working on, I wheel it in and out. And that way I don't have to have drawers around me for everything. And all my projects are all together. Now, this is a little bit messier than I normally would have my craft room, but it works for me. And I just wanted to show you what I'm working on. And let me go on to the next step. So let's talk about my layout. So let's talk about what the first steps are. First thing I do is I make a list of all the things. Things I want to put in my closet, things I want to put on the shelves, things I want to have at my fingertips. I just lay it all down. I just write it all down. So since I'm looking at everything, I have Cricut stuff and felt and Copics and a computer and a printer and sealing wax and Misties and alcohol inks and watercolors and a vacuum and Ebenezer stuff. It's felt projects that I'm working on. I know I've got 4 Razcogs, and I love my Razcogs because I move them in and out as I need what's on them. I made a list of what can go in the closet, the Razcogs and the 12 by 12 paper, because I don't use it very often. And because my closet is right here, how hard is it for me to walk in there and go into my closet? I think I've also decided I'm going to put my stamps and dies in here. Maybe right here on the wall, or maybe right here. And I love having them all laid out. In my other house, if you look, I had them in cabinets like this. This is what I had in my other craft room. I had my IKEA units under here, under the windows, and I had the closet company build me these wonderful tall cabinets with these wonderful pullouts that were 80, 100-pound drawers, and I loved it. The difficulty was that the width of these units did not line up with the width of the inner design units, and I had a lot of wasted space in front and in back and in sides, and it just didn't work out well for me. So I'm thinking, rather than going to the expense of having the cabinet company build all of this, I'll put my stamps and dies in my closet, go in there and grab what I need, put them all back when I'm done with them, and utilize my money in a different way. IKEA has some really good hacks. I'm not really sure how I'm going to work that out yet. As I fine-tune this process, I will definitely keep you posted and updated. But I do know I need space for stamps, dies, felt, all the stuff. And then I also found the footprint from my island from my other house. How the drawers were, how high it was. I know it was with the top, it was 32.5 inches high. And that was the perfect height for me because I could stand up and work, and I could sit down and work and not feel strain on my back or my body, which was perfect. So as I said, I wrote it all down. And then what I did first thing I do is think about, well, okay, what do I use the most? What project do I use the most? What project has the most little things? Well, I love paper crafting, so I tend to use that the most. I paper craft more than anything else. So I kind of, what do I reach for? I reach for pens. I reach for adhesives. I reach for my heat tool. I reach for paintbrushes. Behind me, what do I reach for? As a matter of fact, I did motion studies. And oh, by the way, I didn't know if I told you this or not, but I do have a craft room organization guide that goes through all of this. It's not expensive. I will link that down below for you. If you would like to figure out how to even begin to organize your craft room. But what I did first, I'm looking for the paper here. Okay, so here's my craft room. Here's the door in, closet, bath. So here we go. Door in, do you see that? This is the closet, and this is the bathroom. I have decided to, and I'm looking for a pencil. See this right here? I'm going to bump that in. I'm going to have my architect make that like that. Come on, pen. Bump this in 2 feet and have it face this way so I can put something in there and then have a door. And so here's kind of what that looks like. The 2 feet bumped in. It's a 6 foot wide space, door, Razcogs, and then I'll have the alpha wire shelves across here, and I have freestanding units. They're sitting on legs. I already own those. They're in storage, so I'll add to it and not have to mount anything onto the walls, which will be a lot easier for me in the long run. And so as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, well, how do I want this to be? Where do I want everything to be? So you see here it says stamps and dies, but I'm really not sure. As I said, that's where I want my stamps and dies. So I went through everything and I measured it. I measured the Stamp and Storage large ink and the Stamp and Storage small, the distress ink containers. Because I am thinking what I want to have to do, what I want done. So here's the craft room. Here's the window wall. Turn it again. Here's the windows. These won't be there. I can get 11 of these skinny 6-drawer IKEA units here. That's 66 drawers. And even if they don't open the whole way, that's okay. That's a lot of drawers. I'll be sitting about right here. That's my chair. And so I'll be able to reach what I want most right back here. What do I need the most? I'll have a couple of stools here for guests. So here's that window wall. So start there. So here is a bird's looking at the window wall. Here's the 11 IKEA units. I measured the windows. I'll have my builder build them up on a platform, and as that all happens, I will send you some videos and I'll post them for you so you can see. And then I have 5 foot space here of space. And so I thought what I would put here are, I can get 12 magazine holders across, because each magazine holder is 3-ish inches. So I can get 12 across for my cardstock, because I like my cardstock right behind me, and I of course like everything in rainbow order. So right here, if you see, notice it says magazine holders. They're 10 inches high when you turn them on their sides. When you turn them on their sides like this, let me fix this for you. Rather than standing them up, you turn them on their sides, and I get these at the Container Store like this. They're 10 inches high and 3 inches wide, and I can get 8 to 10 papers per holder. Now I already have a bunch of paper, and I know I want to add more because Concord and 9th just came out with some new colors, and so did the Stamp Market, and I'm always adding new colors, and I just want to make sure I have room for it. So all of my measurements are on this paper. And so if I have my 11 Alex units here, and I have my cardstocks across here, then I have some pullouts down here that I can put my 6x6 cardstock in, or the backgrounds that I've made already, but I don't really sure I haven't turned them into a card yet. And then I can have some open shelves right here. I thought this would kind of be set back since this is going to be 24 inches deep here. This whole unit right here is 24 inches deep. And the magazine holders are, how deep are they? I think they are, let me measure them for you. They're 12 inches. So this top unit can be set back. And I could have like a counter and then just set back. And I can put my printer right here, my regular black and white printer that I use all the time. And then I have some open shelves here, the adjustable, that I can put decorative things in here, cards that people send me, projects that I make, things that I want to put on display. So that is this wall right here. And then what I've done is I've taken, let's see, what's the next wall that I do? Have I done any other walls? Oh, I did. This was the stamp and die walls that I had before, and I was thinking of having the big rollouts in here, but I really don't think I want to do that this time. And I'm looking. This is again, back to my floor plan. So over here, I thought I'd have the IKEA units with the feet that I showed you, and I could do 3 together. And then maybe put some bookcases on top. This is the preliminary. How do you lay out your room? Look at what you have. Look at what you want to use. And then figure it out. I love these sliding sweater drawers and the shoe drawers that I get from the Container Store. I love to see. I like my stuff contained. I like to see it. But I also like it neat. But if it's all hidden behind doors, I kind of forget what I have. And then here's my island. So this is the Jane side. This is the windows over here. And then this is the other side. So on my side, I want to have a shelf facing over here with some spray bottles and things like that. For a 4-drawer stack, my knee space, and 2 4-drawer stacks. And these will be full extension drawers. I'm not really sure where I'm getting those. Am I getting them from IKEA, Home Depot, Closet Company, Cabinet Company? That have not decided yet. And then on the other side, I'm going to have 18 inches here. And then I'm going to have space. And then I'm going to have a 2 4-drawer stack. And I actually forgot to take into consideration this 9 inches here, so I'll have to figure that out. And that's kind of the basic layout. But what I did want to say here, what I'd like to do, because again, the ink holders from Stamp & Storage are only about 4 inches deep. I don't want to put them on a 24-inch deep shelf because you've got all that space down below, and behind it just seems such a waste of space. So what I have here actually works for me. So if I'm putting all those Alex units here, I would like to put 2 really long ink holders right here, and the 2 really long ink holders, I will tell you, hold 120 inks. So that's 240 inks right there. That's a lot of ink. And then I can put my distress ink above. They're a little bit skinnier. And then I can still have my windows. I don't have a view in this house. The windows are really just for light. And I've got, really big windows here, really big windows here, and then smaller windows across. And I'm thinking that might be the way to go. And then what I'll do is as I receive stamps and dies and new ones, I'll put them in a container and put them over here, the things that I need to work on. So this is the beginning of me laying out my craft room, and I thought you might like to see it. So if you like what you see, check out the old craft room organization, my old craft room. Check out my craft room organization guide. I also have a whole house build, design build page on my website. I'd love you to check that out as well. And if you have any comments, you have any thoughts, ideas, or anything else you'd like to know, let me know. I'll let you know like how I swatch, how I organize, how I inventory. Anything you want to know, you just let me know, and I will see what I can do. Thanks.